Hi everyone, Vickie here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. Thank you for joining me for the full moon reading, which is occurring on February 19th, 10:54 a.m. Eastern Time. Times will vary. Once again, we're on this zero. We got 015, 015, and we're right back at this 0 degrees of Virgo. So before we get real deep into it, let's just think about Virgo energy. Virgo, 6th house. It rules over work. It rules over health. It rules over pets. A full moon can bring awareness to these areas of our lives. So health, work, pets, these type of things could be illuminated at this time. As with all these full moons that are occurring at 0 degrees, it's sort of a dichotomy because the full moon is the culmination, it's the most, and 0 is the beginning. So it's kind of an opposition. Well, it is an opposition because that's by definition the full moon is the sun opposed the moon. But there's something kind of push me pull you about it. You know, it's wanting to be a full moon, but yet it's at this 0 degrees, and there's this new beginning. What else is at 0 degrees is the Chiron. And I had to look it up, but it's funny, I was going to say July, which is not, has nothing to do with anything. But sometimes when I say the wrong thing, it is spirit, like, kind of speaking through me. I know there is going to be some eclipses in July, so that might be a July thing. I need to move this like this. Sorry, I'm going to move this thing like that, get a little better adjusted. How's that? There we go. Yeah, so maybe these eclipses, this could be a tie into the eclipses perhaps. But the 18th, February 18th, the day before this full moon, Chiron moves to 0 Aries. So we had a little, that's the big news. And it is 0, so it is making aspects to the 0 full moon. We had a little taste of that. Was it last year? Chiron dipped into Aries for a minute, and then it went back into Pisces. So again, also Chiron in Pisces is very much the martyr. It's reviewing the past. It's punishing. With Chiron, it's punishing ourselves and all the wounding and all the mistakes we made, and we're beating ourselves up, and it's so terrible. Now in Aries, it's a different vibe completely. It's pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and be action oriented in healing the areas of your life that are wounded. So during all this time of its journey through Pisces, we were discovering this, all these old wounds, all these old things. And that's when, like, the Me Too movement came up as one thing that's in the collective, or at least in the United States. I believe it's worldwide. But it was the Me Too, and all these women are remembering all these times that they were, sexually harassed or assaulted. And, these painful, wounded memories were, coming up. Now, it's the review is over, as the Chiron. Although the sun is in Pisces, we've got a lot of Pisces energy still going on. But this is like the next thing. We're moving to the next thing. Okay, we've done the review, the 12th house, Pisces, the review, the past. Now, the here, Aries, the here, the now, taking action. What can we do about it? Charging full force ahead. Standing up for ourselves, being the warrior. Aries is Mars energy. It's the warrior god. It's taking action. By the way, I've started doing those ingress charts, and this Chiron's still going to be at 0 during the ingress, so that's going to be a thing that I will definitely talk, if you order that reading, that's something that I will definitely talk about in relationship to your chart, because it's conjunct the ingress. And this is, so it's moved in there, but I think that Chiron's not going to really get its full power until we have that ingress time. Real quickly, I just want to, some of the other things that are going on at the time of the ingress that will also be addressed in your chart is the Pluto and Saturn are conjunct the South Node, which is happening here too. We're going to talk about it today. Venus will be conjunct Lilith, and Neptune conjunct Mercury. These are all some touch points that I'll definitely look at, and any other transits that are happening to your chart if you decide to order that reading. But this Chiron energy, this is super powerful. This is super empowering. It's good to go soul search. That Pisces is all about soul searching and going deep within and the past and all these sorts of things. But the Chiron is, the Aries, is definitely action oriented. It's definitely moving forward, taking action. It's not feeling sorry for yourself anymore. It's getting back up on that horse or getting back on that bike and riding again. So empowerment, empowered action, that's a very key element into the Chiron energy. Okay, I do want to look at the Mercury-Neptune because I believe that's going on also here. Yeah, the Mercury-Neptune is going on here, and it will also be going on at the time of the ingress. So, Mercury with Neptune. Mercury in Pisces is kind of, I mean, there's definite terms for this stuff, exalted, and, you know, but I always can never remember that stuff, to be honest. And this is just, you know, astrology chat, astrology off-the-cuff reading. I don't do a lot of I don't do any reading up or anything. Only thing I looked up was when did Chiron go into Aries, which was the 18th. I like to go off the cuff. I like to let it flow. And that's kind of what the Mercury conjunct Neptune is in Pisces energy. It's kind of just tuning in, letting it flow, letting it come through you. Mercury is communication. It is speaking, expressing yourself. It doesn't really like, it's kind of dampened down in Pisces. So, and the Neptune is the ruler of the Pisces, so there's such a strong Pisces energy. Well, we have the Sun and Vesta also, but these two are right together, 16 degrees, that's a conjunction. It's kind of, they're strange bedfellows is what I'm hearing. You know, they make strange bedfellows. Because Mercury is all about talk, 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 go, 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 do, think, think, think. And Neptune is about chill, slow, feel. Neptune is feel, and Mercury is do, go, speak. So they can come together, and they can come together in really beautiful ways, beautiful forms of self-expression. The Mercury is the mental mind, and it can tune into and make sense of the Neptunian vibe, the Neptunian energy, the deep, the download. This is a major download aspect. Could be a lot of downloads coming through for people. And this is going to hang around for a while, I assume. I should look. I bet you that Mercury must be going retrograde if it's going to be still conjunct the thing when the ingress hits. Let's see here. Yeah, Mercury's going to go retrograde in March, so that's why it's still going to be conjunct to Neptune. So this is going to be a long-standing aspect. It's going to be on here on this full moon. We're going to have some awareness of it because it is the full moon. But then we're going to experience it again in March as we go through, and most of the month of March, and then even into April. It's retrograding all the way back down to the point of 16 degrees again. It's going right back to this exact spot of 16 degrees. Not quite exact, 1608, but close enough. So it's coming back. It's connecting and communicating with Neptune. It's going to move on, and then it's going to come back again for a second visit. Or it feels like, because it's Neptune, the 12th house, it feels to me like it's coming back because it forgot something. Or maybe it found value in what Neptune... I mean, yeah, it's the mechanics of astrology. You know, there's mathematical calculations involved. But I'm talking more on an energetic level, that as it moves forward, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You know, maybe it's almost like when you... I've had things happen where you get this psychic flash or this psychic experience, and then you move on, and then you come back and go, wait a minute, was that what I thought it was? And then you have to go back up and like re-examine it a little bit. And oh, maybe there was value in that. Or something, Mercury's such in a hurry all the time, you know, Mercury moves around so quickly that Mercury just might have passed, you might have passed something by. So pay attention, feel those feelings, get those downloads. You don't have to run past it and come back to it. Additionally, what could happen is like you could get a download and then talk, move out in the real world, and then when it comes back retrograde, there could be some kind of a reconnection with it. So maybe you get a creative idea, and say you're going out, let's say you get an idea for a book. Let's just use that as an example. And then you're going out shopping it around or writing it. And then when you might come back to that initial download or that initial thing or that initial spark of wanting to put it out in the world could finally occur as Mercury stations at the end of March, comes back and makes a station there again. So there's going to be some kind of touch tone here, move on, and then back. What it reminded me of was that time my car was stolen years ago. This is, God, maybe 30 years ago already. And, I reported to the police and whatnot. Nothing ever came of it. I had this other car. I made another video about this before, but this other car my brother had, he let me borrow this beater, and I was driving around in that. And then one day I just went a different way home. I just went down a different street for no apparent reason. But I drove past and I saw this car. I go, wow, that really looked just like my Oldsmobile. And I kept driving. And then something said, well, stop and go back. And I stopped and went back, and it was the Oldsmobile. That's what this reminds me of. You get this little inkling, like, boy, that looked like my car. Ding, ding, rolling down the merry way. Like, wait a minute, maybe I should go back. Maybe that was my car. And lo and behold, it was my car. I found my own missing car. It was parked a few blocks from my house. So that's what this reminds me of. Like, initially I just drove past it and like, oh. Or those kind of things happen all the time. You see something and you go past it, and then you say, well, maybe I should go back. And then you do go back, and it's something really wonderful. Find your car, or, who knows what happens. Just different things. But maybe it's something that you kept on walking by. It could be a love. Neptune is romantic love. Maybe it's, for some of you, somebody that shows up and you're just like, whatever, keep on walking, And then you start thinking about it, because Mercury's about thinking about it. He's like thinking, well, maybe they weren't so bad. Maybe I should go back and talk to them some more. And then it turns into something. I feel like there's just something magical about it. It could be. And that magical stuff, that's going to show up in your chart, again, with the equinox reading. So now let's look at this Pluto. It's in orb now. This is just life-changing stuff here. This is major life-changing stuff. I should have looked up when the last time Pluto conjunct the South. I mean, it's not exact. It's going to be even closer at the time of the equinox. It's going to be 22, 24 degrees. So this is another thing. And Saturn's going to be up there, too. At the time of the equinox, we've got Saturn at 19, Pluto at 22, and Node at 24. Venus is already up here by that time. But these three are going to, that's going to make a huge impact. So this is... These new and full moons and these ingresses, these are like snapshots that carry the energy through for the next maybe 30 days in the case of the new and full moons. And the equinox readings, those are like the next 3 months. But it's more than just the point of the equinox, or the point of the full moon, or the point of the new moon. It's all the other things that are happening at that time. That energy also gets carried forward. So we're beginning to explore this too. This is coming into play. Pluto and the South Node. Talk about releasing past. Talk about major disruption of past. Things are going to get blown out of the water on this one. Believe you me, I get that. And when Saturn joins in, come on, big power. I think big stuff is going to come out about the powers that be, the big, downfalls. There could be major downfalls with Pluto of powers that be. Some major dirt could come out with Pluto. Pluto is that underworld. Pluto is that the dark realm, the underworld. He's the god of the underworld. Hidden things, deep, dark, hidden secrets could just come out. And I feel like there will be things. It's not quite there yet, but it's coming. There will be things that are going to be global. I'm sure there will be. But there also could be things in your own life. Again, I'm feeling like these very disruptive things from your past, or past memories, could come forward. Mercury with Neptune, Pluto with South Node. Memories, suppressed memories that were pushed down into the deepest, darkest depths of your soul. All of a sudden, something could spark a memory, and it could come up. With the full moon in Virgo, these could be related to chronic health problems. Many times when we have chronic health problems, they are related to other things going on in our lives, and there's a whole thing. It could be past lives, that's definitely a thing, or a part of it. But it also could just be things in this incarnation that we've suppressed, or we've forgotten, or it's too painful to look at. with Pluto. Absolutely. If you're interested in that, the Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, you know, she goes, there's probably a lot of people who have done it since, but that's like one of the best known works in Western. There's a lot of Chinese medicine and stuff that also goes into it, but the Louise Hay, you know, she gives a whole list of, you know, like for instance, your back hurts where you're carrying too heavy of a load on your back, you know. There's all these emotional and things related to body aches and pains and so on. Now we have Pluto in there. I mean, excuse me, Venus in there. So at this moment of the full moon, we have Venus. There could be past loves could be showing up for people, absolutely. And I'm not a big fan of that. I've talked about it before, about waiting around for past loves. I think that's a huge waste of time for the most part, and it's a huge scam that a lot of readers pull, whether they want to call it that or acknowledge it or not. Come on, it is, but I'm not going to go there. The point is, this could be that. There's a strong connection to the past with this South Node and the Saturn. Sometimes with Saturn and Pluto on either side of the Venus, it could be one of those times, like what I say is when you see somebody from the past that you were madly in love with, that dumped you or whatever happened, and you see him again, it's like, what was I thinking? It could be like that. Because now you're like, they were, you know, this dominated, this controlled me for all this time. And now I'm free of it. And it really can just happen right in an instant. Where's Uranus in all this here? Yeah, Uranus is still squaring that. So definitely freedom from these past bondages. And sudden realizations like, what the hell was I thinking? I mean, that's the most part of it, you know. Or they come around thinking that you're still in love with them, right? They show up thinking, oh yeah, I remember she had a crush on me, or she was, you know, she was in love with me, and you're like, dude, that's so 20 years ago, you know, or whatever. Like I've moved on to that from that a long time ago, you know. I'm not stuck in that, or I never was. You know, it could be one of those deals. Never was. You know, I walked on and never looked back. If you think I'm your admirer or something, you're the one who's delusional or got a screw loose or something, whatever. There was something else that came to me while I was talking about that, about this Pluto. It could be somebody that blows you away, though, too. Like, just a karmic relationship. This is a karmic love aspect, Venus with Saturn. And Pluto is something that just rocks your world. Pluto is also sexual. It's just ruler Scorpio. Rules Scorpio, rules 8th house, rules sexuality. So it could just be amazing sex, you know. It could be somebody that's just amazing sex, but, you know, is there anything else there? That would be something that you want to consider. Is there a conflict between your freedom and the control factor? You know, do you want to stay free, or are you lured in by amazing sex and then find out that they're really trying to control you and you want to be free? So there's a lot of different ways that this could play out, but it's power, control, passion. It's passionate, it's intense, it's major intensity here. And it's definitely connected to our past with the South Node, and it's definitely connected to our past lives and our past in this life. Back to the Chiron moving into Pisces. So we've explored, we're still exploring Pisces. And we're probably going to really not shift until that equinox time, you know, the Aries ingress. But we're still, you know, that we've done the Pisces thing with Chiron for a while now. So we've gone all these deep, dark places. And then the South Node comes up, and it's like, okay, I've had this mind-blowing revelation. My mind's been blown one way or the other. Is it mind-blowing sex? Is it mind-blowing revelations, remembrances? So this big shakeup has occurred regarding my past here. Am I going to go back into Pisces mode and cry about it and, oh, I'm a victim? And I'm not trying to make fun of the Pisces energy, because there's a place for that. There's a place for compassion. There's a place for, that's important. You know, it's. I'm not saying don't be a baby and cry, but you can't get stuck there. You know, it's good to explore your emotions. It's good to feel your feelings. It's good to heal your wounds. But then there does come a time when you've got to, you know, this could be a catalyst for getting, you know, taking some major action that could release you from major karmic bondages on a very deep level, on a not so deep level, just in our, our day-to-day lives, releasing from something that is causing you problems in ways that you don't even know. Maybe you have pent-up anger about it. Maybe you're shoving your emotions down, and it's showing up in some health thing. If some health thing does show up around this time, it would be very useful to go and explore it. How could this be related to emotional stuff? How could this be related to past indifferent, or past, past things that I've not dealt with? It's time to lay it all on the table. It's time to deal with it. That's the big message here. That Jupiter's really drawing me in there. What's Jupiter doing? It's squaring this Mercury Neptune. Okay, yeah. Anything else? No. What's going on down here? Nope. Okay. Well, before we go to the Jupiter square Neptune, this is going on too. I want to jump back to this Juno when the full moon, but yeah, Jupiter's saying it's going to be for your highest good. That there could be something really lucky about it with Jupiter, but also Jupiter in Sag in its home sign in the 9th house, where you could really have spiritual growth and personal growth by leaps and bounds. And some people don't want to have spiritual growth or don't really care about it. They're just caught in their day-to-day routine all the time. And that's cool too, but I'd be willing to bet that most of the people that are watching this video are interested in spiritual growth, are interested in progressing, don't want to carry around these heavy loads anymore, do want to move forward and find new ways of... this is saying that the old ways tumbling down. When the walls come tumbling down. Yeah. When the walls come tumbling down, definitely getting those lyrics. Let's look it up real quick. If you've never watched my videos, I do look up lyrics because they come to me, and usually there is some relevance in it. It's my guide's way of communicating, and there's often key things. Yeah, John Cougar Mellencamp, that's it. Let's see what the lyrics say. Some people aren't so damn good, you can't trust them and you can't love them. No good deed goes unpunished. Oh, that's very relevant. No good deed goes unpunished. That's for sure with the South Node and Pluto. And I don't mind being their whipping boy. I've had that pleasure for years and years. No, I was never the sinner, I was never a sinner. Tell me what else I can do. That whipping boy, too, that's that, what I was talking about, that suppression, Second best is what you'll get till you learn to bend the rules, to bend this rule. Time respects no person. What you lift up must fall. That's definitely key to what I'm talking about with the Pluto. And time is represented by Saturn. They're waiting outside to claim the crumbling walls. Saw my picture in the paper, read the news around my face, and now some people don't want to treat me the same. When the walls come crumbling, Some people say I'm obnoxious and lazy, that I'm uneducated, my opinion means nothing, but I know I'm a real good dancer. That's Neptune, I'm a real good dancer. Don't need to look over my shoulder to see what I'm after. Everybody gets their problems, ain't no news here. Everybody's got their problems, ain't no new news here. I'm the same old trouble you've been having for years. That's definitely what I was talking about, South Node. I'm the same old trouble you've been having for years. Build up, push down, push down. Pluto's going to bring it all out, and it could show up in some health. Don't confuse the problem with the issue, girl, because it's perfectly clear. Just a human desire to have you come near. Want to put you in my arm, want to put my arms around you, feel you breathe in my ear. You can bend me, you can break me, but you better stand clear. Yeah, you better stand clear with that Pluto energy, because there could be some major stuff. There's so much in that song that was relevant to this reading. And the walls come crumbling down. Yeah, definitely. It isn't happening necessarily that day, but it's all moving in there, and that equinox is going to be such a key time this year. There's a lot of really powerful stuff going on, so if you did want to check out that reading, please do. It'll be a limited time offer. Yeah, so this is powerful. Chiron moving into Aries is huge. Oh, I want to look at the moon is sextiling with the Juno. You know, that kind of brings us back to this. The moon is feminine, Juno is feminine, God, all that. Embracing the feminine, not being, you know, Saturn is very male, Pluto, very male energy, dominant male. There's Neptune, you know, and these more feminine vibrations. There's room for that. There's room for that to come through in a way that's not so Aryan, not so militant, not so Martian, like Mars, you know, Mars warrior energy. There needs to be a balance of both. The feminine of the North Node in Cancer, that's the mother, the nurture, the South Node in Capricorn, which is the father. So it's the mother-father, you know, the mother-father, the father sky, mother earth. There needs to be a balance of the masculine and the feminine. This is squaring the part of fortune here too. I mean, I ran the whole year's charts with the part of fortune in, and I usually never use it in these charts. But since I left them in, you know, there's the fortune is coming through, and health, work, a work situation that you hate, you're miserable in, that's draining you. What are the underlying things going on? What is the Piscean part of it? What are the emotions attached to it? What is being hidden? What is being locked away? What is being pushed into the back, into the subconscious? What's really going on in the subconscious mind? We got one more little shot here to figure it out, and then it's full force Aries time, man. It's everybody's going to be moving on, trucking on over here to Aries, and then it's Aries time, and that means action time. So this is like the last ponderance of it for a while, and then it's time to take action. We've pondered it. We've pondered it to death. We've talked it to death. We've talked to our friends about it. They're sick of hearing it too. You know, oh, let me break out my, this is the smallest violin playing, you know, what is that old expression? You know, but basically it means we're tired of hearing your sob story already. And again, I'm not trying to be cold. There's value in that, and emotions are valuable, and sobs, quote-unquote sob stories, you know, have their place, and they're important, and emotions are important for healing. But you don't want to wallow. You know, this is the last hurrah here, until it's like time to kick ass and take names, basically, is what we're leading into. So yeah, if there's a situation at work, if there's a health situation, there could be some deeper implications going on. These could be old patterns through past lives, or old patterns through your current incarnation, you know, this life, that need to be addressed and need to be looked at, and action needs to be taken. And sometimes, you know, if you don't take the action, the universe will take it for you. You know, if you don't address a health thing, you know, you could end up dealing with something more serious, that you're going to have to take time off to deal with it. If you don't address a work thing and maybe leave a situation, you might get fired. If you don't address a bad relationship, you know, they could dump you, or, you know, a lot of things could happen. So it's better to be in the mode of taking action and steering the wheel of your own life here, you know, being the captain of your own life, going in the direction and taking care of your own self and your own things. Virgo is also the details. I just heard the devil's in the details. So it's important to look at all the details. It's important to gather facts, is what I'm hearing too. Especially like if you are going to maybe go to the doctor, write down all the symptoms that you're having. Or if you're going to quit your job and you want to, you know, if there's some sort of dispute or something, write everything down. Mercury, Neptune, write it all down. You know, keep organized, keep your details straight. You know, if you're going to get divorced, heaven forbid, but maybe some people would. Maybe some people are just being tired of being pushed around by their mate. Write everything down. You know, keep the details all straight. You know. Because when you're in the present moment and you're all fired up in Aries Mars energy, you forget the details, you know. So it's always good to make notes and write things down. Okay? Okay, everybody, if you want to order that reading from me, It's going to be available for a limited time. It's always real popular. Again, we're not just addressing the 0 Aries point. There's all sorts of stuff on my chart. I always say that when I do these readings. My website, VickieVerley.com. I have art and books. I have a bunch of astrology art. That's really cool. And it's based on your chart. These are based on your chart, based on your chart, based on your chart. Those make great gifts. I write books. I have divination tools, music, t-shirts. A lot of them are astrology oriented. The readings, that's where you're going to find all the readings that I offer. And of the things that we've discussed today, of course, the equinox reading, Aries ingress, will be available for a limited time. It's a bi-wheel. Again, we're going to look at not only the Aries ingress, but its relationship with the Chiron and Aries to your chart. The Pluto South Node Saturn conjunction, Venus Lilith conjunction, Mercury Neptune conjunction, all related to your chart, and anything else that's in your chart that's not going on. But if you're interested in the South Node, I was talking a lot about the past life stuff. I also do those soul readings. And that's where I take a look at your chart and I do a psychic reading, picking up. I look at the nodes and Chiron and Saturn and 12th house. And I do, it's like a soul reading. So it's like what you're working on in this life, karma. It's a deeper psychic spiritual reading, but based in astrology. So if you're interested in that, do check it out. Yeah, so the full moon in Virgo, health, pets, work. Probably forgotten a few other things that 6th house rules. I wasn't really planning on talking about that, but it's all coming to light with the undertones of these power struggles, and the walls are tumbling down. And coming out of the martyrdom into the empowerment time. Time to stop wallowing in the martyrdom and starting to take action and formulating a detailed plan of action. Got Uranus opposed Pallas here too. Major invention, major time for new influx of energy. Pallas is inventive, Uranus is inventive. Going towards the Aquarian age, going into the future. Not wanting the old ways to, it's a big T-square actually with the nodes and the Uranus Pallas opposition. So not wanting to stay in the past, not wanting to do things in new and innovative ways, and not just hoping and praying about it, doing something about it. Major action oriented things are happening. Okay. All right, so thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everything you do to support me in this channel by liking, sharing, commenting. I have a Patreon page too if you'd like to support me on Patreon. You can find my website and everything up in the eye in the sky or below. If you can't find my videos, you can always hit the subscribe button and then you will not miss a forecast. So thank you all for tuning in. Remember that you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great full moon in Virgo, and I'll speak to you soon.